Hello everyone, it's Mary. Welcome back to the channel. I'm not wasting time. We are jumping right in to figuring out how to use the backgrounds that we make through all of our crafting sessions, and they just sit there and collect dust. So I'm going to show you my process for this. So let's jump right in. First up, what products do I want to use? So if you have a stash where you just kind of buy the stuff because it's cute and pretty, but you don't use it, start there. What do you want to use? What do you want to play with? So these are some of the items that I want to play with. I really need baby cards. I realized I don't have any, and I really didn't have a lot of supplies for them. So that's first step. Next, I grab some paper, and I'm doing this because if I want to use paper, I want to coordinate some of the colors with some of the backgrounds that I've made. Okay. Oh, this is another one that I got. Love this set. It's the decorative edges from scrapbook.com. Okay, so look at all of these backgrounds. Now, safe spaces here, folks, because I have a feeling I'm not alone, so don't judge. But I will tell you, I have way too many backgrounds. Like, this is half of the pile? Question mark? Okay, anyway, I went through and I thought, okay, what kind of coordinates, what can I make work? And it didn't always have to coordinate with that paper pad. That was just one or two of the cards. But so I get out the backgrounds that I am thinking about playing with. Today I'm going to show you 5 in this video. And so these are sort of the ones that I'm going to be pulling from. First up, I've had this cloud background that I made once upon a time, probably years ago. And I really wanted to finish off this card because it was actually on the card base. So this is an entire card, if that makes sense. What I did was I went to my decorative edges and I grabbed out the 2 clouds. And I'm just going to add some dimensional clouds on it. This card is so super simple and a lot of white space too. So I also went into my pack of my HBD balloon set, and I had already colored up for, I think I did another video or a class, so I just die cut them. This card, I promise you, I probably made in less than 10 minutes. So keep in mind the stuff that you have that you've been keeping, scraps, colored items, things like that. Grab them out. Okay, so I'm going to cut down, what did I cut down? Oh, I cut off the excess of the clouds. I'm going to then go to my staple Happy Birthday Sentiments stamp set, and I'm just going to stamp out Happy Birthday there. I did want to kind of at first like maybe tuck the balloons behind the clouds. I went back and forth with this. That was probably the lengthiest thing, but then I decided I'm just going to let the balloons sit on the front, and the card is almost finished. The last thing I do is I'm going to take some of my pops of color in the snowflake, which is like this clear glittery pops of color, and I'm going to outline the clouds as well as parts of the balloon. So instead of drawing like white lines, I'm just going to draw with my pops of color. So we're going to call that card finished. This one was very simple, and I got to finally use that background, and it's a birthday card, and that's always an occasion, very popular throughout the year. So there we go. We are finished with that one. I'm going to show you here just a couple close-ups of the card. The coloring doesn't look as drastic in real life. I think the lighting pulled out, made it look like it was like half white, half blue. That's not, I don't know what happened there. Okay, anyway, let's move on. We are going to move on now. I'm going to be using my Zigzag frames. So this is like 1 parts get to use my backgrounds, 1 parts gets to use my supplies. They don't always have to be made at the same time. So maybe you have no crafty mojo and you are cutting a bunch of images with your dies. That's great. Keep them in a little container. Pull them out when you're ready to assemble cards. That is totally fine, and I do that all the time. In fact, this entire video is basically assembling pieces. I do get to use some of my new stuff though. I'm going to be using the Welcome Baby dies. These are adorable. They're little baby outfits, and I used the Darling paper pad to cut the dies. What's great about this die set too is there's a lot of embossing on it, so it gives you a lot more dimension than just a flat piece of clothing. So it gives lines, and just the embossing of it is kind of cool. So I assembled those on my little hangers. I chose my Zigzag frames. You've probably seen this design style before from me. I've done it with the Polaroid dies that I have and a few others. So I like it. If you're doing a slim line, I think this kind of fills up the card without being overwhelming, and it allows for some really neat texture and things to add because you have a lot of space to work with. So then I die cut the sentiment, "Oh baby," and I'm just going to put the card together with some liquid adhesive as well as some foam tape. So then that card is pretty much going to be done. I did keep this portion in here though because I have these little brown hearts that I bought years ago. I don't even know if they still make them. I think they were from Trinity Stamps. And I was pleased as punch that I got to pull them out because they coordinated beautifully and they're hearts and they just coordinated in theme and color. So it's the little things. So there we go. Last thing I do is I do take a glitter pen and I just cover up the little dress and the hearts with the glitter pen. So pro tip, you can color up some of your embellishments, especially if they're clay like that. So this card was fun. I did make that background with the honeycomb stencil in case you were curious, but that was a long time ago. All right, there are the close-ups of my card. So the next part we're going to be moving into of using up your backgrounds and putting your cards together. I chose two backgrounds that coordinated but were different. So they're the same inks I used on both. On the right, I ink smushed. On the left, I stenciled. And so I wanted to be able to die cut through one of them and still use the other background. Again, they coordinate nicely already. So that's another option for looking at your backgrounds because likely you have quite a few that match together, especially if you're sitting down doing like an ink blending session. Now, I didn't want my little baby outfits to get lost on the background, so I cut them out of gray as well, and I'm going to use them for the shadows. You'll see that in a second. I also want to give you another tip and reminder to use small mini stamps in your sets and add to your dies. So this little mini is from the special delivery stamp set, and I just pulled out the stars and now some polka dots, and I'm just going to add them straight to my die cut images. So don't forget about those little stamps. They're really cute and they can be used for a lot of unique things. So here's what I meant when I said, see how it gets lost on the background? But if you put another one, just either die cut in black, I chose gray just to keep it a little softer, you can see it now. So it really breaks it up, and I like that tip. Or you can just use a marker and you can draw, just kind of outline the side of it so you can draw in a shadow as well. Now I am trying to figure out how I want to put this card together. I went through a lot of iterations. I decided to, at first I used vellum, couldn't even see it, so then I went with this really soft, beautiful color, and I cut out with the wavy oval. I'm going to stamp it here in VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. This is my favorite ink. See what I just did there? I'll show you again. That's called conditioning. Condition your brand new stamps. It gets all the residue off. It'll stamp a lot better. So I'm going to use my VersaFine Clair black, that's the black ink, Nocturne, and I get perfect stamping the very first time. So stamp is done, sentiment's done. Now if you're fairly new to card making or paper crafting, adding a little bit of shadow to your cardstock adds such a beautiful opportunity to add interest and dimension to the look of your card. I'm going to show you a comparison here in just a second, but I'm just putting a little bit of coordinating darker ink around the edges, and look at this picture here. You can see how much easier it is. I know the stamp sentiment is at the top, but just look at the wavy oval, how much more your eye is drawn to that center. So I wanted to make sure to share that. It's just an extra little tip, takes a couple seconds, and I feel like it elevates the look of your card, I guess depending on the design you're going for as well. So I'm going to put my little outfits here up on some foam tape so they are dimensional off the top of my card panel. And then after that, I am just going to add some more of these embellishments. So I like the clear sequin one for finishing off this card. I don't want to add too much more color. I feel like the background speaks for itself, and then you have our wavy oval. And that'll finish off this card right here. While we're showing those pictures, a little pro tip: if your embellishments keep sticking to your fingers while you're trying to put them down, powder them with your anti-static powder bag, and that will help minimize that sticky factor. Okay, so I don't know if I mentioned this in the beginning, but when I used the decorative edges to die cut the clouds, I kept that piece, and now I'm going to use it as a stencil. So I grabbed up a really pretty rainbow type background, and I'm going to use my stencil / mask here to add some clouds to my background. And so do that. Get 2 for 1 out of your supplies. I'm always recommending that. How can you use your supplies in various ways? And if you stay to the end, I'm going to show you a little homage to my favorite die set probably in my stash, which is the Delicate Leaves, because I have tons of different projects. Not tons, I have like 7 I'm showing you of different projects of me just using that. So use your stuff more. I cut out the rest of this card process and just showed you the finished product here. And I used some of the crystal glaze to get that realistic balloon, that shiny balloon look there. So that was a lot of fun for this card. This one was finished off with a die set called Little Loveys, which are little animals. They're super duper cute. All right, next up, maybe you don't just want to pull out your backgrounds. Maybe you want to pull out all these little extras that you have. So I keep all mine in this little container here, and occasionally I'll go through and see if something matches a card project that I'm doing. So right now I want this little container to inspire me. So which of these items am I being kind of pulled toward? It was the Delicate Leaves. And I also love this background. This is probably, I don't think I'm overstating this. This is probably top 5 favorite backgrounds that I've ever made. I love it. And you know what seals the deal on it is the Pewter Distress Spray that I got the droplets for. It just really does elevate the background. Okay, so I am going to die cut this arch window out of the background. I'm going to obviously keep that piece, that positive piece, for another project. And I'm going to use my Delicate Leaves that are coordinating in color, not matchy-matchy, but coordinating well. And I'm going to just start putting this card together. I loved the finished look of this card. You cannot go wrong with this design. I feel like it's just a standard, beautiful design where you cut the center portion out to break up the background and then put die cuts to draw the eye to the images. So really great design for you. I also will tell you that I have a entire background PDF that you can download if you like. You'll also get the backgrounds class for free. You can just click the link below. It will add you to my email list, so you'll join me over there, but unsubscribe anytime. I don't spam you, but in case that's not for you, that's fine. You have that easy option. You'll get a class and a 27 design idea PDF to help you with your backgrounds. So it'll hopefully inspire you. You can use those 27 designs and add these 5 to it, and there you go. So hopefully that will help you if you get stuck. I often get stuck with my backgrounds, and so I refer to my own PDF places. All right, so before we go, I just want to show you what we made today and remind you that how I started this was I looked at products I wanted to play with, and then I pulled out some backgrounds that might work well with them. Those were the 2 main things. And here is a little dedication to the Delicate Leaves that I love so much. They are a staple in my craft room, and I want to encourage you by showing you these pictures. You can use your products in multiple ways. Please never feel like you have to keep up with all the new stuff. No, if you like something, see if you have something in your stash that's comparable and that you can play with. Speaking of using your stash, are you joining us for ADHESIVE class coming up this Saturday, July 26th? This is my 16-year-old daughter, and she will be teaching us live. We're going to be going through some stencil techniques, and she actually came up with some stuff that I'd never even tried before. So it's going to be so much fun. I will be the executive assistant behind the scenes. I hope you can join us. This is her summer job, so she's been working really, really hard on this class for you. So I hope you can join. Still, pick your own price to join us. We hope you can make it. We'll see you there. If not, I will see you in the comments down below or in the next video. Bye-bye.